Have you heard about the $17 billion that Social Security just paid out, and now you're wondering why you didn't see a dime of it? Or maybe you're asking, who got these payments? And is there still a chance I might qualify? Well, you're not alone. There's a lot of confusion floating around, and in this video, we're going to cut through the noise. We'll explain exactly who got the money, why they received it, how much they got, and most importantly, whether you could still be eligible. This is Social Security Post, where we dig into real updates that affect you directly. So if you care about your benefits, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Social Security Post because we've got a lot to uncover. To start with the headline, the Social Security Administration confirmed that all retroactive payments under a new federal law have officially been sent out. In total, these payments add up to over $17 billion, distributed to a little more than 3.2 million beneficiaries. What's grabbing everyone's attention is that this wasn't a typical cost of living increase or one-time stimulus. It was a retroactive payout, meaning it covered money that should have been paid in the past, going as far back as January of 2024. These payments weren't random. They were tied directly to a law passed by Congress, and that's where things get really interesting. The entire basis for these payments goes back to a bill called the Social Security Fairness Act, which passed through Congress late last year and was officially signed into law on January 5th, 2025. The Fairness Act made a big change. It eliminated two long-standing rules, the Windfall Elimination Provision and the Government Pension Offset GPO. These rules had been in place for more than 4 decades, and they affected people who worked in public sector jobs, teachers, police officers, firefighters, postal workers, and other civil servants. These individuals paid into their own pensions and also earned Social Security credits, but WEP and GPO often cut their Social Security payments significantly, in some cases down to zero. The new law wiped out those restrictions, and because it was retroactive, the government owed a lot of people back pay for benefits they should have been receiving since January 2024. That's what created the huge lump sum payments you're now hearing about. Now, this is where things get specific and maybe a little frustrating for those who didn't qualify. The payments were only sent to individuals who were directly affected by WEP and GPO. In simple terms, if you spent part of your working career in a government job that had its own pension system, and your Social Security benefits were previously reduced because of that, then this money was likely meant for you. Roughly 3.2 million people fit into that category. That includes retired public school teachers, city employees, first responders, and more people who had earned their benefits but were penalized under the old rules. Each recipient reportedly received an average of around $6,000, though the actual amount varied based on their personal work history and how much they were shortchanged. If you didn't get a payment and you're wondering why, you're not alone. This is one of the most asked questions we've seen in comments and community posts. Here's the answer. This wasn't a general payment to all Social Security recipients. It wasn't related to age, disability, or income level. It was exclusively for those impacted by the WEP and GPO rules. So if you never worked in a qualifying public sector job, or your Social Security benefit was never reduced due to those provisions, you simply weren't eligible for this retroactive payment. It's also worth noting that Social Security has now confirmed that all eligible payments have been sent out. So if you were hoping for a surprise check, it's probably not coming, at least not from this particular program. This part is fascinating. Social Security had to go back and recalculate over a year's worth of payments for each eligible person. That's why these were lump sums. They included everything owed from January 2024 up through mid-2025. The agency began distributing checks starting in February 2025, continued throughout March, and wrapped up all final payments by June. These weren't mailed out all at once, so some people got theirs early and others later. It's also important to understand that the $6,000 average is just a rough estimate. Some recipients received much more, especially if their original benefit had been drastically reduced under WEP or GPO. Others received less if their impact was minimal. If you were a public sector worker and you were penalized by WEP or GPO but didn't get a payment, you might want to check your SSA record. Here's what you can do. Log into your Social Security online account. Review your earnings history and any prior adjustments. If there is a discrepancy or if you suspect an error, you can contact the SSA directly or work with a benefits advocate. Mistakes do happen, and while the SSA claims all eligible payments have been issued, some individual cases may still be under review or may have been missed. That's a fair question, and the honest answer is probably not under this specific law. This payout was a one-time correction based on the repeal of outdated rules. But what it does show us is that legislation can make a real financial difference, even if it takes time. There are other bills in Congress right now aimed at expanding benefits, reducing taxes on Social Security, or providing relief to low-income seniors. While none of them have passed yet, this recent action gives us hope that change is possible and that lawmakers are still responding to pressure from the public. This $17 billion payout may not have applied to everyone, but it signals something much bigger. Social Security is finally addressing long-standing injustices, even if it's just one group at a time. It also proves that public pressure, advocacy, and legislative effort can lead to real financial outcomes. Many of the people who received this payout had been fighting for fairness for decades. So if you're hoping for fairer taxation, larger cost of living adjustments, or better protections for survivors and disabled beneficiaries, this recent development is a reminder that it's worth speaking up. If this video helped clarify the recent retroactive Social Security payments for you, please give it a like and subscribe to Social Security Post, where we cover only the facts with no fluff or fear-mongering. And if you have a question about WEP, GPO, or any other part of your benefits, drop it in the comments below. We read every single one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with another update you can actually use.